While we could find out tomorrow more about Holloway's mental state at the time of the crash, tonight the focus is on how we can keep pedestrians safe along one of the most famous streets in the world. We now know the identity of the mystery buyer of the Las Vegas Review-Journal. Google brought some cool new technology to the Valley today. While it's made out of cardboard, it can take students around the world without the high cost of international travel, allowing people to fill the streets. And the night, of course, will end with that great fireworks show that'll shoot off from 7 hotels and last just about 8 minutes or so. And just today, Senator Dean Heller co-sponsored a bipartisan bill to help protect children from sexual abuse. And is your family prepared for a disaster? Well, according to a national report card, parents may be worried about disasters, but they're not doing much to prepare. A survey from Save the Children found 40% of parents don't have an emergency plan. In fact, Nevada is one of 21 states that don't require schools and child care providers to even have a basic emergency plan. So on the heels of that, several agencies are taking this month to help families get ready for any type of disaster, whether it's flooding or a school shooting. You can pick up handouts and booklets on disaster preparedness all month at the Clark County Government Center. President Obama says militants who beheaded a U.S. journalist will be brought to justice. U.S. intelligence officials confirm the Islamic militant video showing the execution of American journalist Steven Sotloff is real. Well, CVS is hoping to help smokers kick the habit. The nation's second largest drugstore chain has pulled all of its tobacco products off the shelves a month sooner than expected. Cigars and cigarettes have been replaced with nicotine gum and also other tobacco-quitting products. CVS announced it's changing its name also from CVS Caremark to CVS Health. And a school in Texas making the most of its tiny space. The one-room schoolhouse is really straight out of like Little House on the Prairie or something.
You won't find computers or tablets there. And Steve Pickett takes a closer look at this and how the students are learning.
And some nicer mid-90s to follow.
95 looks nice.
It does. How's your car doing? Did it make it through the summer okay?
Just barely.
More cars in the U.S. have been recalled this year than ever before.
But do you know if your car is on that list? The new database that's making it easy for you to find out. But some safety advocates are concerned. Jonathan Copenhaver appeared in a Clark County courtroom for the first time today. He pled not guilty to 32 charges, including 2 counts of attempted murder and dozens of other new felony charges that were filed today. Now, no bail has been set. After Christy Mack reported the attack, War Machine went on the run and was captured a week later in California. She posted pictures of her injury, saying that Copenhaver sexually assaulted her and beat her so severely she suffered broken bones and damaged organs. You have been listening to the verdict there live in the George TFA murder case. Guilty on all 7 counts for conspiracy to commit murder and first-degree murder. But in those final minutes, Paul, we saw the prosecution going back and forth because I was even a little confused over some of the language that the jurors came back with. So they're going to go back and clean that up. But again, guilty on all 7 counts. Well, the countdown is on for Labor Day weekend, and according to the Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, we're expecting more than 315,000 visitors to come into town over the next few days. Leading GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump is changing his tune when it comes to possibly running as an independent candidate if things don't go his way. The Republican National Committee wants all of its presidential candidates on the same page, promising not to splinter the GOP and run as a third-party candidate. The RNC sent a pledge form to all 17 leading candidates. Now, today, Trump reversed his previous position and signed the pledge not to run as a third-party candidate. Trump has used the threat of an independent run as sort of like leverage if he felt the Republican Party wasn't treating him well. All of the leading candidates have indicated they too are on the same page, supporting whoever is the eventual nominee. A new poll out today shows Trump at 30%, up 4 points since the first GOP debate, which is when he said he wouldn't sign the pledge. So now it looks like they're all on board.
This is breaking news from 8 News Now.
Good evening. Thanks for being here. Denise Valdez, along with Paul Johnsich, monitoring a major story on the Las Vegas Strip that has shut down both lanes of traffic after a woman believed to have hit more than 37 people on the Las Vegas Strip. We're hearing from witnesses literally mowed them down with her car, and so far at least one person has died. There's a ton of people out there on a Sunday night. When you talk to those witnesses, they said that she had just a stare and both her hands were on the steering wheel. Can you tell us a little bit more about what those witnesses saw? There are lots of different parts of Las Vegas Boulevard where there is an elevated sidewalk. You have to take an escalator to get up and over some of those major streets. This just happens to be one particular section where you just wait to turn. You wait for the pedestrians to cross. As you turn into Paris, it's about a 4 or 6 lane road there as you go into that property. And apparently that's where many of these people were hit, roughly in front of Cabo Wabo, just before the entrance to the Paris Hotel. No guardrail. Well, of course, there's street lights and there's pedestrian crosswalks. In this case, it doesn't look like any of that may have prevented what happened tonight. Yeah, this is what they consider a level 3 response, where they bring a minimum of 70 people to come out and do triage in the middle of the street, trying to save people's lives and get them to the nearest hospital. Those with the most serious injuries going to UMC, the rest going to Sunrise. But witnesses were saying it was just a stream of blinking lights. What's happening to that female suspect right now? Where is she at, and what are they talking to her about?
It depends.
As we talk about the folks that are hospitalized and being treated right now, joining us on the phone is Stacy Acquista. She is a spokesperson for Sunrise Hospital, where some of those injured folks have gone. Stacy, it's Denise and Paul. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you. Hi.
Hi there. Good evening. Thanks for calling in. We're talking about the fluidity of some of the injured. Can you tell us how many people you're treating at Sunrise and what their conditions are?
Sure. So we have 11 people total. 8 are in good condition and 3 in fair.
Any children? There was a lot of questions at the media briefing about any children that may have been hurt.
So these are all adults that we've received at Sunrise.
And we were talking with our retired lieutenant here about a language barrier. Are you dealing with any of that at your hospital? Over the weekend, Governor Sandoval signed into law a package of bills that could really transform not only Apex, but the entire economy of Southern Nevada. We are learning more about the terrifying minutes when police say Holloway mowed down people on the busy Las Vegas Strip and dug into what can be done to possibly prevent future tragedies. So we have live team coverage.
Karen Castro has been looking into safety measures along Las Vegas Boulevard.
But we begin with 8 News Now reporter Mauricio Marin. He has more about what's next for Holloway. Well, Sunday's intentional crash is raising some questions about pedestrian safety along the Strip. It is a topic that local officials have talked about many times before. 8 News Now reporter Karen Castro continues our team coverage tonight. She found out what's being done to prevent a tragedy like this from happening again. Karen? SpaceX successfully launched and then landed its first rocket in 6 months. The crowds cheered as the rocket touched back down in Cape Canaveral, Florida. It was the first time the company managed to land the unmanned rocket on Earth after a flight. Really just textbook. Friday's nightmare. It is a clear sign of just how many Californians, though, are making their way to Southern Nevada, but just how important are those visitors to our economy? Jeremy Aguero with Applied Analysis joining us now to help answer that question. I have a feeling I know what you're going to say.
Sure, we know it's huge, right?
Huge.
But we have all been there. Be one of your neighbors.
Right.
Very good chance of that. Every now and then when I meet someone who says I'm born and raised in Las Vegas, they're a native, it's like meeting a unicorn. It's like, what? You're from here? How many people, do you have any idea, are actually natives?
Sure, it's a great question.
Ted Florindo is live all week at some of the houses in the valley that have really just pulled out all the stops to get you into the Christmas spirit. You were giving Dave Rice a hard time about some of his lingo. What'd you say there? It was a hoop-de-doo reverse flea flicker.
Yeah, that's my lingo.
Very nice.
A technical term in football.
We like it. Thanks, Ron. And I'm Denise Valdez. Police are searching for the shooter right now. Scott Daniels is live near Boulder Highway in Tropicana, where that shooting took place. Scott, what's the latest? Speaking of our planet, scientists are starstruck today by new pictures of Pluto. NASA posted photos of the dwarf planet, which show a wider range of terrains, and scientists expect it, including mountains, ice patches, and also smooth plains. Ted's going to appreciate this. According to NASA scientists, the twister is actually a gyrating mass of plasma. The solar cycle spun for about 40 hours a little bit earlier this month. Now, we're told that temperatures in that plasma storm measured at 2.8 million degrees Celsius. And in case you don't want to do the math, we did it for you. That means about 5 million degrees Fahrenheit in that sun tornado.
That's funny. I was just doing the math. I was just trying to do the math in Celsius.
2 times 8,
that is
carry
5.
1.
That is 5 million degrees. Yeah, that's funny.
Well, just after 3 o'clock, that shootout took place in a neighborhood in San Bernardino. And in this video, you see an SUV in the middle of the street just riddled with bullets. These are live images coming from our affiliate in Los Angeles. Now, the helicopter reporter telling us a body could be seen in the street, says it looks like the person was wearing some kind of armor or perhaps a bulletproof vest. We have live images coming from our affiliate in Los Angeles, where at this point there are 3 active scenes, one where the massacre happened, a second with a shootout with one of the suspects we're told, quote, is down, and a third surrounding a home where they're believed there is a third outstanding suspect. It's the story that has gripped the nation this afternoon. That is a massacre at a social services center in Southern California. At least 14 people were killed and 17 more are injured, some of them critically, some of them injured just stumbling out of the building trying to get away from an active shooter. So Tom, with given what's happened in Paris and given what's happened today in San Bernardino, is it likely that our local law enforcement is maybe reevaluating what they're going to do, let's say, for New Year's Eve when we have thousands of people coming out to the Las Vegas Strip? It is something a lot of Americans fear, public speaking, but one local school is giving its pre-K students some early exposure. According to the Washington Post, speaking in front of people is what Americans fear the most. That's why the beginning school program at the Meadow School sets the stage for success at a very early age. So today, the school held a recital where kids got the chance to speak into a microphone in front of their classmates, in front of their moms and dads.
Even I get nervous speaking in public.
I know people don't know that about you. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.